Well, boys and girls, welcome back to the start of our journey into the Enterprise National League with Oxford City. As you saw in the last episode, we managed to go up via the playoffs. It's been fairly busy summer, I must say. I'm going to introduce you to some of the new stars that we've signed, and hopefully we can move forward in this season and solidify our spot in the National League, with there maybe a view to potentially get promoted next season. So in terms of new additions, we've got James Wright. We've brought him in, come in as our first choice goalkeeper. Used to play for Aston Villa, was released, so we snapped him up on a free transfer. He's better than Camis. He's not a lot better than Camis, but at least that gives us two fairly decent goalkeepers now to have. We've signed Jacob Pingington. Again, a very good right back. Of course, Conrad Hunt was on loan. We knew he was going to be going back, so instead we decided to sign Jacob Pingington. Again, plays a little bit more to our style as a fullback or a wingback, to be fair. He's competent in both. He's a 4-star ability, 5-star potential. In his non-competitive games, he's already sort of registered 3 assists for us, which is good. Same in terms of back two, so Darnell Johnson and Chris Francis. I would have liked to have brought in another centre-back, but right now it's not been something that we've been able to manage to do. We've also got this guy who come through the youth prospects. I showed you the striker that come through in that elite level group that they said. He's only 16 years old, but he's already a 2-star left-back with potential of 5, so I'm thinking he's going to get a good run out in games. He may be our first choice left-back, with having them Rudy on the bench to help cover that centre-back, left-back position. Then brought in Tate Campbell. He's a holding midfielder. Again, we know Stephen Turner was going back to Ipswich, so we wanted to bring in another CDM and arguably a CDM that was ours and we can develop. 24 years old, good stats all round for a CDM. Prefers to play in a half-back, but as we know, we'll be playing him more as a defensive midfielder rather than a half-back. We're keeping Manny Aliki for another season. He has started to obviously drop down in stats now. He's 33 years old, but I still think he's going to have a good impact and he's got some good natural stats to be going for them sort of surging box-to-box runs. Clark is staying on the right. McEachran, of course, is staying in the cam position. We've also signed Ashton Boswell. Now, we are training him out of position to do a... Well, I say out of position. He can play at left back, but I'm training him to become a more natural left back because I feel like he would be better in a left back position than he would be necessarily as a winger. This is the problem area. Of course, we saw the youngster in the last episode, Tyler Medway, 16 years old, some decent stats for a 16-year-old, right? So I'm going to give him a run out and just see how he gets on. The reason why he's starting and Westendorf is not is because Westendorf did pick up an injury in the pre-season. He's going to be out for another 7 days to 2 weeks, unfortunately. Other than that, there's not really been any other incomings. If we're looking at it realistically, our weak spots are potentially Chris Francis, the left back, and of course the striker, as we've already identified. The rest of the team kind of picks itself, right? The bench is questionable though. We are going to be lacking a little bit of depth. So we bring you to the first game of the season today against Wildstone. They are dipped to be relegation favourites. This is the type of game that arguably we want to go on and win. If they are potentially dipped to finish bottom, then even if we're dipped to finish just above them, we want to be winning this game, right? I'm trying to see where the odds are, but honestly, you know what I mean? Where we find some of this stuff now that we used to use all the time, I don't know. Here we go. Predicted league table, season preview. This is what we're looking at. So we're predicted to finish 23rd. We were predicted to finish rock bottom last season, and look what happened. So anything is possible. You will note that we don't actually have any loanees yet. So I've done that specifically. I wanted to hold off before bringing loan players in. Wanted to see what the starting 11 looked like. Give them a couple of games, or at least see where the weaknesses are, and then look to have loans in them key areas. So I think right now, areas that we're going to focus on a loan, 100% a striker without a doubt. We can't rely on Medway. He's too young to put all that pressure on his shoulders. Westendorf is obviously inconsistent, as we know, and he's out injured at the minute. So a striker, probably maybe another DM. To be fair, we've got 2 replacement DMs there, and then maybe a centre-back. So we want to try and get 3 or 4 loans in that are really going to have an impact on the team. So here is your starting lineup for our first game in the National League. We've got James Wright in goal. A defence made up of Pingington, Johnson, Francis, and Killaferrari. Manny Aliki and Tate Campbell in midfield. Clark, McEachran and Boswell in the attacking midfielder roles. And we've got Tyler Medway up front. We will need to keep an eye on McEachran, because he has picked up a little bit of a knock, so we probably will bring him off at half time. I'm going to say it's important that we take advantage of our home form again. Remember, the MG Group Stadium last year was an absolute fortress for teams to come to, and realistically, we want and need that to be the same. It is going to be a step up in goal, as we know. Can the players do it? I've got faith. I've got faith in the players. Some of them signings that we've made as well, they are pretty decent players, if I must say so myself, especially at this level of competition. One or two of the strikers, like I said though earlier, that we had offers in for and they accepted offers from us before getting gazumped and going to another team, they would have been top class, and that probably would have stopped us from sitting in the relegation zones in the predicted table. I feel like the only reason we're down there is because we don't really have a natural striker that is, you know, highly rated within the game, right? Currently we're playing a one-star striker because he's one of the only actual out-and-out strikers that we have that are fit. Jack Beardy may come on in the second half as the striker potentially, but it's not his natural position, so can we expect much to come from him? Probably not. That's why I'm giving Medway a game now. Gives him that little bit of experience. Hopefully he can bag himself a goal or two. But so far we're 36 minutes in and we've seen absolutely nothing, which isn't ideal. With usual highlights as well. We've not changed that from when we last played. But we're going to be going in, it seems, at half-time 0-0, which, you know, we're finding our feet in the league. We're just getting used to the pace of it. And we are a second-half team, as we know. And luckily, Calafiori, that's what he's going to be known as from now on. Calafiori has got the reading of that and gets rid of it. Oh. I was going to say, surely that must have been... Yeah, thank you. I did see one of our players get pushed over, and I was going to say, hang on a minute. Surely that was a free kick, and luckily it was. Okay, let's go in at half-time. I'm proud of the effort so far. We can most certainly win this. Do we make that change? Don't know if we do. I feel like the problem is if we make that change, McEachran's going to need to come off soon. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. I'm going to have him as a channel forward as well. Just helps him a little bit more. And then do we take off McEachran now or give McEachran a little bit of time playing in with Beanie in front? I think we're going to risk it. Realistically, like I said, we want to be winning this first game. We're at home. Let's set a precedent for the season. Let's not... I mean, a draw... Is a draw a bad result? Probably, because the momentum, we want to win the first game and then just sort of go on from there. But if we did draw, it's not terrible. A loss, I would be disappointed with. If we were playing like one of the big boys in the league, then, you know, I'd understand if we lost, right? But we're not playing one of the big boys. These are dibbed to finish rock bottom of the league. So, you know, there's an argument there that we should be picking up the points here at least, especially as the board just want us to battle relegation. So they haven't got much confidence in us. The media doesn't have much confidence in us. But the players, to be fair, when we've had the pre-season meetings, I've said we've got enough to be able to stay up, and they do agree. So hopefully we have got enough in the bag to not have a long drawn-out season where we're constantly overlooking our shoulder in terms of that relegation battle. I'll be happy with just sort of, you know, a lower end of the table finish around 17th, 16th maybe at the start. I mean, that's what I'll take now. If you offered me that now, I'd rip your hand off. But who knows where we're going to be after the first couple of games. The plan will be to show you this game, skip forward a couple, and then obviously bring you back for another game in this episode. So Beanie here picks it up. What's he going to do? Oh, goes past his man beautifully. Lovely run. Oh, he almost announced himself into the National League with an absolute cracker of a goal. Let's encourage. Do we go positive for the last 10 minutes? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I want us to win. Campbell picks it up. Johnson into Francis. Just flirting with each other. Come on, boys. We're not winning. We're not winning. Thank you. Boswell. Humphreys. Oh, lovely little put of play. Oh, lucky. We are testing the keeper, which is good to see. Stays on the highlight. Francis gives away the free kick. You could have just won your header and we would have been on the counter again. 84 minutes played. Still 0-0. We are dominating possession though, so that's good to see, and all the other stats, to be honest. So again, should we be winning? Arguably, the stats are saying we should be, but it looks like it's going to go out for a 0-0 draw, and that is it. That is all she wrote. So a draw at home in the first league game. I'm disappointed. We should have won that match. I do believe that, especially with how we obviously dominated on possession. So what the plan will be is I will probably bring us back. Where should I bring us back? I'll probably bring us back to the Rochdale game. So here we go, boys and girls. We're back with the Rochdale game, as I said. And I must say, as you can see by the screen, the form has not been too bad. So since you saw that 0-0 draw at home, we then went away and won 1-0. And you will see a new name on the score sheet, which I'll show you the two new arrivals that we've brought into the club since you have last seen the team. We then beat Dorking 3-0. You may notice another new name here on the team sheet. And then we went and drew 1-1 to Boreham Wood. We were unlucky. We conceded in the 89th minute. What that means in terms of the league, as we can see, we are currently sitting fourth. Of course, it's very early. We've only played 4 games. This objective this season is realistically just to finish probably between these spots here. All right, we don't want to be getting relegated, of course not. But if we can sort of solidify ourselves, have a season up here, enjoy obviously then hopefully being able to, again, have a rework of the squad next year. Who knows? It could be then our year in terms of the predicted with them extra signings. It's I don't know if that's put us up or put us down, to be honest. We're down into 22nd, but that is where we are right now. And as we know, the media are always wrong, as they were last year. I'll show you the 2 new signings. So we've got Damani Mellor. He's been brought in as almost like a coverage for Zach McEachran, but also can play in that striker position because, of course, as we said before, Westendorf was out injured, but we also brought this guy in on loan from Wolves. So Min QG, he's in on loan from Wolves for the season. We are contributing £420 towards his wages. However, they were quite stern on it, but he is a pretty good looking striker, if I'm honest. So that could be the player that really helps us move forward. We are actually going to, well, actually, we're not going to start him because for some reason he was set for the under 21s in the game just gone. So that's why he's only on half fitness. But as you can see, 1 goal, 1 assist, and the new striker as well, 1 goal, 1 assist. But your starting 11 for the game against Rochdale today is Wright in goal, Pinnington, Johnson, Francis, and Boswell in defence, Campbell and Aliki in the holding midfield, Clark, McEachran, and Birney as our attacking midfielders, and of course the new guy, Mellor, up front. Now, the importance of today's game is Rochdale are right behind us in the league, or were they just above us in the league? I think they were 3rd in the league. So if we can beat Rochdale today, I mean, that really does set a precedent. We're just going to say again, we need to take advantage of our home form. We need to keep and make sure the MG Group Stadium stays as a fortress for us. We're expecting big things from the 2 new strikers. We really want them to be coming into their own. Of course, we are playing Boswell more as a defender in this game. Reason why he does give us more chance of that overlap and that attacking threat because he is a left back who can play left wing, right? So he's going to give us a little bit more than what the youngster will. We have still been playing a lot of the youngster though, because I'm keen to keep him progressing. He's going to be one that really could be sort of a future superstar, especially for us here. You know, he might get poached by a League One or Championship side eventually, but then at least we're going to get a pretty penny for him if he does. So Boswell here, McEachran, and there he is, the new guy, completely said his first name wrong, but Mellor hits his goal in his second game that he's starting for us. He came on as a sub in the last game, but didn't really contribute. But in this game, he takes it well, backs off from the defenders, gets his position in perfectly well. And there we go, 1-0 up at home against Rochdale. Like I said, the MG Group Stadium has to be a fortress for us this season. We need to be making sure we take full advantage of when we are at home. If we can win our home games and we can draw the majority of our away games, we know we're going to be staying up and we know we're going to be comfortable. But of course, a lot of football still to play. So 16 minutes gone on the clock. It's good to see Wright having some good performances. You know, Camus didn't really do anything wrong last season, let's be honest, apart from 1 or 2 games, but step up in quality. We do need to step up and get a couple of extra players in who are more capable of playing in this league, let's say. And every player that we've signed so far, they are deemed as either good or leading enterprise National League players. I was wondering what was going to happen there. So it does give us that extra sort of confidence that we've brought up some good quality replacements. And of course, the spine of the squad stayed very much the same. So the collectiveness, the togetherness of the team is still there. We've just sprinkled a little bit of star power, so to speak. So there's Mella again. Come on, 2 goals for him this afternoon. Absolute peach of a ball by Birney as well. That's the thing, even though the new guys have come in, you know, Birney and Clark, they're still influential. But look at this. Takes it first time as well. Very nice. Very nice indeed. And that's, you know, if Melo can keep in this type of form, and we've got G as well, you know, who's going to be starting for us, and Melo will probably be dropping into the McEachran role. McEachran can potentially play out wide, or of course we have the luxury of being actually able to rest him this season where we didn't have that really last year. It just gives us a lot more strength in depth and something that we're going to need. You know, we've got potential game changers now on the bench, which is important, especially at this level of football. So we go in 2-0 at half time. I mean, we have done brilliantly. This is as well as it can be, to be honest. That's as good half as you're likely to see. Well done so far. I don't think there's much more to say other than that. Get straight back out there and get straight back into them. Let's just play with that intensity throughout the rest of the game and we will be laughing. What does that do in terms of the league? Well, it actually puts us top. Oh, look at that. I mean, let's just stop the league now. Stop the count. We'll go up as champions. We'll take that. I don't know if we'll be ready to go up to League 2, but, you know, it'll be be an achievement nonetheless if we did manage to go up this season. But, of course, expectations are not that. Expectations really are going to be to solidify ourselves. If we can sneak into the playoffs, you know, have a little bit of a playoff run out, that would be nice. But I'll be happy, to be honest, just finishing. If we finish top half of the table, I would be very happy with that, if I'm honest. Given the sort of players that we've still got, we've managed to, like I said, sprinkle some quality on, but we're not at the levels of some of the squads that are in this division. And of course, we will probably play harder oppositions than we have so far, right? And we do have that new confidence bounce that we've just come up, and we're sort of the underdogs and the underestimated team, and we're showing them what we're capable of. Aliki into Pingington, into McEachran. Lovely turn from McEachran, and there he is. It's not a goal. It's not a game that we see unless McEachran scores, right? You do usually get to see a McEachran goal. Look at this turn, though. Oh, Cruyff-esque. Little cheeky Cruyff turn. Then go. He loves going for that far corner as well. It's top corner as well. Absolute beautiful goal. Can't complain when you see goals like that. We're going to make some changes because the games have been coming thick and fast. So realistically, let's bring on G. We're actually going to move Melor out to the left because he's more natural on the left than the right. We'll bring G on up front. We'll bring on the youngster, and we might also bring on... We bring on Ashby. I don't want to risk one of these going off injured. Yeah, we'll take Aliki off and bring on Ashby. Maybe we'll actually take off Pinnington as well. We're going to drop them now to fullback, and I'm not going to get him to press. I'm just going to get him to sit in the middle of the park and just basically be a nuisance. Just going to solidify it. We're 3-0 up. We don't need to go and chase it now. We can waste time, which we're going to potentially do in a minute. I don't like to do it too much because I feel it's a little bit scummy, but that's what teams do in real life, right? If you're winning comfortably, you're just going to waste time. There's no need to over-exert ourselves and risk any injuries. Campbell into Birney. Oh, unlucky. McEachran was there, but just couldn't connect to the ball. Johnson's going to read... Normally, Johnson reads that all day, but luckily, they haven't got their shooting boots on this afternoon. Luckily for us. Going to praise them. We've got a long goal kick probably from us here. A long goal... But we do nothing with it. Absolutely nothing. We don't even challenge for it, and it comes straight back at us. But again, luckily for us, no shooting boots on for them. Are we going to see the exact same? Surely not. Come on, give us something different, game. Almost the exact same. Johnson. Into Birney. Birney's obviously swapped wings now. Causing a nuisance on that right-hand side. Into McEachran. McEachran takes his man on. He's getting confident. More and more confidence is coming into the lad now that we are playing at a slightly higher calibre as well. Can we get a fourth to really tip it off? Mella's there. Oh, that was almost his hat-trick. Almost his hat-trick. McEachran. Into Mella. And doesn't even beat the goalkeeper. Gets saved at the near post. But look, it's good progress, right? We're seeing highlight after highlight of us dominating on the XG, shots on target. Again, the possession's slightly off, but like we said before, we're not really that bothered about that. We're just going to drop now back to cautious. There's no point of us going gun-ho now for it. We're going to go a little bit less wide, drop the tempo for the last few minutes. We might as well just see out the game without any injury risk. Campbell needs a rest, but luckily I think we have a game in 4 days and then we don't have a game. That's disgusting. We've seen Hunt get sent off for worse. Thank you. Absolutely disgusting. And there we go. Full time. 3-0 win against Rochdale. We cannot complain. A very good win, and I'm proud of the performance. So as you can see, okay, well, we dropped a second. Sutton obviously must have picked up a last-minute winner, which is fine, you know. 11 points. We've won 3, drawn 2. We've only conceded 1 goal all season. So we are actually joint best in terms of conceded. Can't complain. Best thing about that superstar young left-back that we've got as well, he's on a youth contract and he's only costing us £5 a week. So I feel like that's going to have to change. That contract's going to have to change at some point to a full contract because we don't want him getting poached. Because on a youth contract, I think, if I'm not wrong, clubs can still come in and bid for them and potentially take them, and then we just get compensation, which is definitely not what we want. But at the minute, £5 a week, and he's one of our best left backs. We'll take it, right? We'll take it. We've also got Alan Appleby here. I'll show you a couple of these youth intakes while we're here. Again, a player that's... He's not going to get in the starting 11. Let's not kid ourselves. You know, he's not going to replace Francis or Johnson. But again, another player that could be an absolute superstar. He's got 17 bravery as well as a centre-back. Definitely what you need. The 5 determination is worrying, though. You know, he's not going to sort of push himself and adapt himself. And then we've got Kenny Junior Baptiste. Again, solid player, but with the midfielders that we've got, isn't going to make it in. Whereas, you know, with the young fullback that we've got, he definitely has a chance to shine in the team. So the plan will be, I'll probably play the Aldershot Town game, Gateshead, Forest Green, off camera, maybe even the Chelmsford game. Could bring you back for a Sutton United game. Who knows? It could be a top of the table clash. First versus second if we carry on, each of us with the form that we've got. But that's probably the plan. Bring you back sort of towards the tail end of September. Again, depending on what happens with sort of the FA Cup qualifying rounds, I probably won't show you the second or the third qualifying round, or maybe even the fourth. I might just skip over them. Obviously, we saw them last season. Realistically, I'll probably just bring it to you if we do actually get through to the first round of the FA Cup. Same as with the FA Trophy. Again, I probably won't show the first couple of rounds unless we get into the latter stages of the tournament. This one, we're going to see a lot more league games than what we did in the last season. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're new around here to keep on top of the journey. Also, don't forget, if you haven't seen the season previous, make sure you go and check that out. There'll be a link just above my head confirming where you can find that. Hit that like button if you haven't already, and of course leave me a comment. What do you think of the start of the Enterprise National League campaign? I'm very impressed, but of course it's very early days, and as we can see, we have a lot of fixtures to go. But thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.